हॅलो, कुंडे? कुंडे?
हॅलो मॅडम.
हा, कुंडे साहेब, आवाज येतो का माझा?
हो हो, येतोय, व्यवस्थित येतोय.
क्लिअर आहे ना?
हो, क्लिअर आहे, क्लिअर आहे.
ओके, थँक्यू.
हो मॅम.
आज बरेच पार्टिसिपंट आधी जॉईन झाले, 18 झाले आहे ना?
हो
16.
हो.
16.
हा, आता 18 दिसत आहे.
आपण दोघे आहे ना,
हो
16.
हो.
फॉर्म भरून दिली
रोशनी चलो 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 तुम्हारा हेलमेट नहीं आया बोल है ना
ये एक नाचन जब भर्ती है कि आपको पापा ब्राउन को तो
हाँ श्वेता मैडम, हेलो.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes. All of you, please wait for 2 minutes. Our resource person is joining because of some technical issues. We are getting late, but he is trying hard. So please wait for 2-3 minutes. Okay.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Devrankar, sir. Hello, Devrankar, sir. Hello, Devrankar,
Hello.
sir.
Oh, yes.
हाँ सर.
हाँ हाँ
हाँ सर,
नमस्कार.
नमस्कार, नमस्कार, नमस्कार.
Sorry, really sorry. मला जरा
नहीं नहीं सर.
there was some technical glitch and I was not able to join. I'm sorry. Yeah,
No,
we can
sir.
start
So
now.
it's okay. It's okay. Actually, it
Uh,
happens because of we are in online mode. Okay, so,
Uh,
हाँ sir, please, sir.
Actually, it's raining in Mumbai, so
Oh,
there is some weather issues also. So
okay,
even the internet connectivity is also getting some problems. But
okay.
anyway, I'm thank God that I'm able to join
Yes,
today.
yes.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
now I will take only, sir, 2 minutes just to
Please,
start
please,
the session. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, very good afternoon, one and all, and very good afternoon to our today's speaker, Professor Shailendra Devrankar, sir. Before starting with the session with brief introduction of speaker, first of all, let me welcome our today's resource person. Sir, very warm welcome to you on behalf of the UGC HRDC of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University Amravati to this workshop which has been sponsored by UGC on the topics or themes of National Education Policy 2020. All teacher participant friends, I also welcome you to this particular session of the workshop, and it's my pleasure to introduce you all today's today's resource person, Professor Shailendra Devrankar, sir. He belongs to the field of political science, and he has completed his master's in the political science MPhil and PhD on the topic American Studies, that is from School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi. He has also JRF, NET and SET in the political science, and presently he is working in the capacity of Director of School of International Relations and Strategic Studies, University of Mumbai, also Director Rajiv Gandhi Center for Contemporary Studies, University of Mumbai, and Coordinator of MSW course, University of Mumbai. He has total administrative and academic experience of 22 years, and he had worked in different capacities as professor, PhD Research Center and PG Department of Political Science, Government Vidarbha Institute of Science and Humanities, Amravati, officer on special duty in Maharashtra State Secretariat at Education Minister's Officer, Maharashtra Government, Director Research, Innovation and Incubation at Dr. Homi Bhabha State University, Mumbai, Maharashtra Government, Joint Director, Higher Education, Maharashtra Government, Mumbai Region, Joint Director, Higher Education, Maharashtra Government, Amravati Region, Director, Government Pre-IAS Training Center at Amravati, Principal, Government Law College at Mumbai, Director, State Institute for Administrative Career, Mumbai. And he is Principal Correspondent for Z News, Delhi. He has written, edited, and published 20 books, academic awards, and scholarships at his credit. The number is 25. He has written popular articles in newspapers and magazines. The number is more than 500. He has delivered more than 500 public lectures. I had actually introduced you today's speaker in a brief by considering the time constraint, because I know I have many times listened his sessions, his lectures, and even on the Z channel. So including myself, everybody is eager to listen him, and he should get the time for all of us to focus on the topic that for which I had requested him, that is internationalization of higher education. And now, once again, I welcome him, and I would like to request him to please start with the speech. Sir, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I hope that I'm enough audible and you all are able to hear me adequately.
Yes, sir.
Actually, presently I'm located in Mumbai, and it is now heavy rainfall is going on, and there are some weather disturbances. So it took me to join little late. So at the outset, I sincerely apologize for getting almost 7 to 8 minutes late. Normally, I make it a point to join on time, and very good. I mean, thank you very much that UGC HRD Center, the coordinator, Lomte Madam, whom I know for years, and the Vice Chancellor of the university, the Pro Vice Chancellor, and the previous speakers also, and the University Grants Commission for organizing this wonderful webinar on the new education policy, various components of the new education policy. And I think this is very important, and it has been organized at a very right time, because this is a high time when the message on new education policy and the nitty-gritties of various components of the new education policy needs to be disseminated among the teaching faculty and students, because new education academic sessions is going to be commenced, and this will be the offline sessions. Okay, so since last 2 years we have been coping with corona, and everything was online, everything was bleak, it was unpredictable. But now it seems that things have come down to the normalcy, and we all are able to, start our offline session with new enthusiasm. For today's discussion, I had a discussion with Lomte Madam, and then as per the University Grants Commission's norms, the topic which was identified was the global citizenship education, and it is also connected with the internationalization of higher education. So since the entire webinar is based on the new education policy and various components of the new education policy, so I will prefer to pick up today's discussion on global citizenship education. And internationalization of higher education is obviously a very important and crucial part of this global citizenship education. So this is a very important time. And before, in fact, to get our today's session simplified, I have divided my entire discourse on today's topic into 5-6 broad subtopics. Okay, and very step by step we will try to elaborate on each and every component. So I will begin with why this global citizenship education have got such an importance in today's world. Okay, so what is the nature and scope of today's world? That will be our first topic to discuss. Then I will come down to this new education policy and its ultimate aim of the new education policy. Then we will come down to the concept of citizenship, then the concept of global citizenship, and then we will chronologically come down to the global citizenship education and what is expected in global citizenship education. So now we are going to commence our new session. So it's very, very important for all of us to exactly what is expected under this broad umbrella term of global citizenship education. Okay, so why this topic has become suddenly so important? As we know that today's world is a highly interdependent, interconnected, and highly integrated type of world. And why this as topic has become very important today? Because the Ukraine-Russia war is going on, and it has a very deep, international repercussions. And though the war is taking place almost 7,000 kilometers away from India, but we are getting pinch of the war. Okay, we are, getting affected by the war. Even the common citizen of India is getting affected by the war. when the war started on 24th of February, okay, at that time in the international market, the oil prices per barrel was $69. And when the war started on 28th of February, after 4 days of after commencing the war, the prices shoot up to $90 per barrel. And in the month of March, it reached up to $120 per barrel. In April, it was almost $132 per barrel. And as we know that India is the third largest importer of oil. Almost 80% of our requirement of oil, okay, we get it done by the Gulf countries, and even there are other nations also. And even if there is an increase of $1 in international oil prices, okay, that incurs almost 15 billion loss to our exchequer. So that effect we can understand. Not only that, okay, that is because that will lead to the inflation, and then there is an escalating cycle of economy. I will not go into that detail, but even for our housewives also, okay, they are also getting pinch of it, because the sunflower oil, because Ukraine is the largest supplier of the sunflower oil, and we also import 80% of our requirement from Ukraine. So sunflower oil also suddenly shoot up. The prices of sunflower oil also suddenly shoot up. Then the prices of steel, cement, and even fertilizers, because Russia and Ukraine both are the largest exporter of all these things. And moreover, the 40% of the world's wheat requirement, जिसको हम गेहूं कहते हैं, उसका requirement is being borne by these two important nations. So there was a type of vacuum. Several countries suffered because of the lack of the supply of the wheat, and then India intervened in between, and India becomes, the supplier of wheat to various nations. Why I'm coming down to these things, that clearly indicates, although the war is happening almost 7,000 kilometers away from India, but the entire India, the Indians are getting affected. In several other countries, take the example of Sri Lanka. Because of this war and the escalated oil prices, the political instability was created there. And that was forced to change in the regime, that was forced to change in the government also. In the same manner that now what we are witnessing in Pakistan, the inflation has rose to a great extent. And the World Bank has come out with a report. And according to that report, almost 75 poor and developing nations will get affected because of this, economically affected because of this war. And that clearly shows that how today's world is interconnected, how today's world is interdependent, how today's world is a highly globalized world. And the second important example, which I would like to cite as an part of introduction, is the corona pandemic. As still we have not, come completely out of corona pandemic, we're still trying to cope up with that. But to a great, extent, now the things have come down to the normalcy. We have been, successfully fighting that epidemic. But since last 2 years, we had been greatly affected. In fact, the world had been greatly affected. This corona pandemic interrupted or disturbed the world supply chain. And this world supply chain is very important, because the entire world is almost 40% dependent on China for the supply of raw material. Okay, I will cite you a very small and very important and our day-to-day life related example. And that during corona pandemic, we used to visit to the doctors or even electronic media, print media would advise us through their medium that we should, in order to build our immunity power, we should get the multivitamins. Doctors would recommend us to take the vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin B. Okay. So unless and until China supplies India the basic pharmaceutical ingredient that is called API, applied pharmaceutical ingredients, India cannot make these multivitamins. Even the same scenario is about the world. Okay, the world is totally dependent on China. But after the corona pandemic, the world realized there has to be an alternative supply chain. Why I'm telling you all these examples? In order to emphasize and insist and underscore on a very important line that constitute the base of global citizenship education. Why this global citizenship education has become suddenly important? Because of this total process of globalization, economic integration throughout the world. Now, I will cite you one very small example and then we'll come down to the other important topics. Now, see the trade, okay, the volume of trade, what we are witnessing today. Now, in case of China, China is having a trade with India that goes up to $150 billion. China is having the trade with America that goes up to $800 billion. China's trade with Japan is almost $500 billion. In fact, China is having political problems with all these states. But despite of having that, the trade volume is going every day, okay, and escalating by every passing day. Why I'm citing you this example? Because now no nation can claim they are totally self-sufficient. They are self-reliant. Okay, now one has to depend on the other. And that really, in fact, is a proper logic to understand the concept of global citizenship education. Okay, now what is this global citizenship education? So this is a draft of 22 pages, which has been drafted by the University Grants Commission. And now it has become a very important part of our new education policy. Okay, so now this entire concept of global citizenship education is based on the United Nations Declaration on Sustainable Development. They are properly or broadly known as Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Okay, माने के सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स जो है जो यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने डिक्लेयर किए हुए हैं और जो हमें अचीव करने हैं बाय 2030. और उसमें एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है एंड दैट टॉपिक दैट थ्रू एजुकेशन हाउ वी कैन इनकलकेट द क्वालिटीज अमंग आवर सिटीजन्स, okay, the qualities and values related to the global citizenship. Means what? That we need to inculcate some values among our citizenship which will make them aware to the various global problems. Today we are facing a lot of global problems. For example, we are facing the problem of poverty, we have facing the problem of inequality, we are facing the problem of climate change, then there is a nuclear proliferation, okay, and there is of course the problem of supply chain also. So these are the global problems, but we are getting affected by these problems. So this is a high time that we need to take cognizance of this problem, how our students can get aware of this problem. And then after getting students aware of this problem, we need to make them realize their responsibility towards resolving these issues. So what is the ultimate aim of global citizenship education? The ultimate aim of global citizenship education is to make a responsible citizen who will aware not only their national responsibilities, but their international responsibilities. And he will also contribute equally to resolve their international commitments, that how our students can offer solution to resolve the climate change issue, increasing environment pollution issue. The very crux is the human rights. Okay, the entire concept of global citizenship is based on the human rights. And the human rights constitute the base. Why it is constitute the base? Because once we take the birth on this earth, at that time, we are not the member of any political society. We are not the member of any political community. Okay, because once you grow older, then we get the membership of a political community. But once you take birth, at that time, you don't have any caste, you don't have any language, you don't have any religion, you don't have any state, you don't have anything. But as a human being, you have some rights. Okay, and that rights are the global rights that we need to understand. So this concept of global citizenship education, okay, has its foundation in the basic concept of human rights also. And we need to understand that as a responsible global citizen, as we contribute to the development of India, this is our equal responsibility, that how can we contribute for the global prosperity, for our fellow global citizenship. So it goes beyond the idea of nation state. We have to cross the borders. And for that matter, we need to empower our students. That how our students can get empowered by the adequate education and inculcation of values among these students, so that they will get a comprehensive idea of ongoing global problems, and they will contribute to their sincerity. Please keep your mic mute. To their with sincerity to resolving these global issues. So this is the entire concept of global citizenship education. The draft has been designed by the University Grants Commission and the experts involved in it, and it is based on the sustainable development goal of the United Nations. So this is the entire background. Now I will come down to that, how it is related to the new education policy. Okay, this global citizenship education constitute a very important and crucial component of new education policy. So what is the ultimate aim of the new education policy? In a nutshell, if the students ask you, or even in a common person also ask you, the ultimate aim of the new education policy is to create a proud and responsible citizen. ओके जिसको हम कहते हैं कि जिसको अपनी जिम्मेदारी की पूरी तरह से कल्पना है, ओके, और वो एक प्राउड इंडियन है. ऐसे प्राउड इंडियंस को हमें तैयार करना है जो केवल अपनी प्रोग्रेस के बारे में नहीं सोचता है, तो जो हमारे जो फेलो बीइंग्स हैं, हमारे जो फेलो सिटीजन्स हैं, इनके बारे में भी सोचता है. तो ये अल्टीमेट एम है हमारे न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी का, और इसी में हमारा ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप आता है. बिकॉज हमें सिर्फ उस तरह का सिटीजन नहीं तैयार करना है जो भारत के बारे में सोचता है, हमें वो सिटीजन तैयार करना है जो ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में सोचता है. बिकॉज नाउ इंडिया हैज वेरी मच कनेक्टेड टू द ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स, और ये प्रॉब्लम्स के लिए हम एलुफ नहीं हो सकते, बिल्कुल एलुफ नहीं हो सकते. बिकॉज आज भी हमारी इंडस्ट्रियल रिक्वायरमेंट के जो रॉ मटेरियल है, वे डिपेंडेंट ऑन चाइना, वे डिपेंडेंट ऑन द अदर नेशन. So this is our responsibility, and now we are trying to increase India's influence in the rest of the world. India का influence बढ़ने लगा है. So this is very important that we need to understand our global responsibilities also. इसका और भी एक पहलू है, बड़ा ही important पहलू है, और वो पहलू आप सबको जानना जरूरी है. By using this platform, I would like to share with you one very important factual information. Most of you must not have heard this earlier. At this spur of moment, we have 194 nations in the international community. Out of these 194 nations, there are almost 3 crore Indians who are residing in 123 nations. Okay, out of this 194, 3 crore Indians are residing in 123 nations. Okay, and this number is so voluminous, so that after China, India is the second country in the world whose residents in such a large volume and quantity resides abroad. And you know that these Indians per year, how much money they send to India? Every year, these Indians send almost $80 billion to India, that we call as a foreign remittances. And these foreign remittances are extremely important to provide stability to our economy, because these foreign remittances gets into as a reserve bond in our Reserve Bank of India, and that provide a type of security to our economy. Why these Indians become very important? And that's the reason, because now most of the young Indians are craving to go abroad. They want to go to Europe, they want to go to America, they want to go to Australia, they want to go to other countries for their education. Okay, now the Ukraine-Russia war is going on. In Ukraine itself, for the medical education, there were more than 1 lakh students. They went to Ukraine. I mean, that number is not still counted. I mean, there are other nations also, or others. I mean, students who have gone to other European nations. So Indians are increasingly looking at the world. So at the same time, we need to understand and comprehend India, how India look at the global problems also. And now see that in last 3 to 4 years, India's profile, national profile has changed dramatically. India becomes the member of United Nations Security Council. That is a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. India become member of G20. India always been invited for the meeting of G7. India has become the member of BRICS. India has become the member of G7. Okay, India now also India chaired the World Health Organization's Executive Council chairpersonship. So India's global profile has now increased to a great extent. At the same time, our students are looking at the Western world and America as a destiny for their higher education. At that time, this is high responsibility of all academic institutions in India, how we can create a global citizen, how we can convert our students into a responsible global citizens. So when will they go for their higher education abroad, they will be fully equipped with all knowledge, basic knowledge of the world economic problems, world social problems, world political problems. And this is the very important, lesson that we can get from this entire concept of global citizenship education. And now I'm telling you, there are several universities in India. They have already started their various courses under this global citizenship education concept. Like, for example, diaspora studies. Okay, this is a very important study. Now it has become the part of NET-set examination also. It has become the part of UPSC syllabus also. Okay, and now in most of the universities under the humanities and especially in political science, now students are getting the lessons on this diaspora studies. Even India's soft power, okay, India's soft power diplomacy again constitute a very important part of the syllabus. Why I'm underlining this or why I'm emphasizing on this aspect? Because we need to get the idea under this global citizenship education, what new courses we can start or what new certificate courses orientation we can start at our college or university level. And for that matter, I mean, you are, in that matter, you are autonomous. So you can take the clue from this global citizenship education parameters and you can start the new courses. After this background, we'll come down to a very important concept of citizenship. I will not go because this is not my lecture for citizenship, but just in order to get our concept of global citizenship education clarified, okay, we will try to cover the concept of citizenship very briefly. So citizenship is a membership of a political community. Okay, and there are two important aspects of citizenship. One is a vertical aspect of citizenship, and second is a horizontal aspect of citizenship. So vertical aspect of citizenship means what? The relationship between state and society. जो हमारे संबंध हमारे स्टेट के साथ में है, हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज इंडियन स्टेट के सिलसिले में क्या है, that we call as a vertical relationship between state and civil society. Okay, that is a vertical concept of citizenship. जो दूसरा जो concept है या approach है, उसको हम कहते हैं horizontal concept of citizenship. अब ये जो horizontal concept है, इसमें जैसे हमारी इंडिया के प्रति कुछ कमिटमेंट्स है, जैसे हमारे इंडिया के प्रति कुछ जिम्मेदारियां हैं, वैसे ही हमारे जो फेलो सिटीजन्स है, इंडियंस है, इनके प्रति भी हमारी कुछ जिम्मेदारियां है. ओके, वी नीड टू रिस्पेक्ट देयर राइट्स, वी नीड टू रिस्पेक्ट देयर ह्यूमन राइट्स, वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी विजाविज आवर सिटीजनशिप. वो बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करता है. जब तक आप औरों के और लोगों के राइट्स के बारे में रिस्पेक्ट नहीं रखोगे, उनके प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में नहीं सोचोगे, तब तक आपके राइट्स को कोई रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करेगा, आपके प्रॉब्लम्स की तरफ कोई नहीं देखेगा. बिकॉज हमारे प्रॉब्लम्स इंटरकनेक्टेड है. ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि इंडिया में कोई एक अकेला व्यक्ति है जिसके अपने अपने यूनिक प्रॉब्लम्स है, जिसका इंडिया के अदर लोगों के साथ कोई भी संबंध नहीं. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, बिकॉज एवरीवेयर वी रिक्वायर द हेल्प ऑफ सोसाइटी, एवरीवेयर वी रिक्वायर द हेल्प ऑफ स्टेट. तो इस तरह से अगर ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, तो हमें जिस तरह से हमारे स्टेट के साथ जिम्मेदारियां है, वैसी ही हमारी जिम्मेदारियां हमारे सोसाइटी के साथ है, हमारे फेलो सिटीजन के साथ है. और ये जो हॉरिजॉन्टल कंसेप्ट ऑफ सिटीजनशिप है, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप एजुकेशन. तो हमारी जो कंसेप्ट है ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप एजुकेशन की, that is based on the horizontal concept of citizenship. और वो बहुत मायने रखती है। जैसे हमारी जिम्मेदारियां हमारे फेलो इंडियंस के साथ में है, वैसे ही हमारी जिम्मेदारियां हमारे नेबरिंग कंट्रीज है उनके साथ में भी है। आपको पता है श्रीलंका में द टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम विच आर गोइंग ऑन इन श्रीलंका। श्रीलंका में पेट्रोल का प्राइस है 400 रुपीज, डीजल ऑलमोस्ट 350 रुपीज, टोमेटो almost 1,000 rupees kg. I'm just citing a few examples. At that time, India is the only nation which unconditionally supported rice, vegetables, diesel, petrol, and almost $2 billion to Sri Lanka. Unconditional. It's the first country which came out. And that is the statement of the Prime Minister Vikramasinghe of Sri Lanka, that India is the only country who helped us unconditionally. Otherwise, every other nations are putting the condition while helping. उन्होंने अमेरिका को मदद मांगी, तो अमेरिका ने कहा भाई देखो आप वर्ल्ड बैंक के साथ बातें वगैरह करो, उनके टर्म्स कंडीशन एक्सेप्ट करो, उसके बाद में हम सोचते हैं क्या करना है। इंडिया ने ऐसी कोई कंडीशन नहीं रखी। ये हमारी कमिटमेंट है, ये हमारी ग्लोबल कमिटमेंट है। जो भी प्रॉब्लम, नेपाल में अर्थक्वेक आया था, हम वहां चले गए। अफगानिस्तान में ह्यूमैनिटेरियन क्राइसिस आया है, लोगों को खाने को कुछ नहीं था, इंडिया सप्लाइड 10 million tons of wheat to अफगानिस्तान। और अब हमारा सॉफ्ट पावर जो है वो 75 कंट्रीज में हमने ऑलमोस्ट 500 डेवलपमेंटल प्रोजेक्ट लिया है, जिसपे हम $1 बिलियन खर्च कर रहे हैं। ये हमारी कल्चर है, ये हमारी संस्कृति है, जिसके कारण हमारा जो वासुदेव कुटुंबकम का कंसेप्ट है, दैट इज द ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप। हम कमिटमेंट को जानते हैं। अब इस कमिटमेंट को हमें एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड फ्रेमवर्क में बिठाकर हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को भी बताना है, सो दैट द यंग जनरेशन, द कमिंग जनरेशन विल गेट अवेयर टू देयर कमिटमेंट, नॉट ओनली टुवर्ड्स देयर फेलो सिटीजन इन इंडिया, बट टुवर्ड्स देयर फेलो सिटीजन्स अक्रॉस द स्टेट बॉर्डर टुवर्ड्स द वर्ल्ड। वो भी अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज को अंडरस्टैंड करें। So the horizontal concept of citizenship is a very important from our concept. अब देखिएगा, इसमें एक छोटी चीज मैं आपको और बताता हूं कि इंडियन कंसेप्ट ऑफ सिटीजनशिप एंड वेस्टर्न कंसेप्ट ऑफ सिटीजनशिप, ये दोनों जो चीजें हैं उसमें एक बड़ा ही इंपॉर्टेंट फर्क है। अब देखिएगा, हमारे पास में शुरू से ही ट्रेडिशनली इंडिया का अगर देखो, हजारों साल पुराना हमारा इतिहास है, और वहां पर हमें देखो कि हमें क्या सिखाया गया था। इंडिया में शुरू के टाइम में आप देखिएगा, अवर even is the ordinary person in India, he respects the cattle. हम कैटल जो है, हमारे गाय है, बैल है, इन सबको रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं। उनके हम फेस्टिवल्स है, हम लाइक फॉर लाइक पोंगल इज अ फेस्टिवल, जो हम जहां पर हम जो बैलों को है वो सजाते हैं, उनको रिस्पेक्ट देते हैं। वी रिस्पेक्ट द बर्ड्स, आपको पता है कि वी रिस्पेक्ट द नेचर, वी रिस्पेक्ट द एनवायरनमेंट, हम रिवर्स को भी रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं। ये हमारा कल्चर है, और यही कल्चर ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप एजुकेशन में मायने रखता है। एज वी ऑल नो दैट इंडिया वंस अपॉन अ टाइम, एंशिएंट इंडिया वाज एक्चुअली द सेंटर ऑफ हायर एजुकेशन। हमारे पास तक्षशिला था, हमारे पास नालंदा था, हमारे पास उज्जैन था, कई सारे यूनिवर्सिटीज थे, और वहां पर पढ़ने के लिए स्कॉलर्स पूरे वर्ल्ड से आते थे। एज वी नो दैट बुद्धिज्म का जन्म इंडिया में हुआ, और इंडिया से बुद्धिज्म स्प्रेड हुआ वर्ल्ड में। Today, out of 194 states, there are 25 states whose official religion is Buddhism. लेकिन ये बुद्धिज्म इंडिया से स्प्रेड हुआ है। तब चाइना से लेकर, मिडल ईस्ट से लेकर, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया से लेकर सब स्कॉलर बुद्धिज्म को पढ़ने के लिए इंडिया में आते थे। तो हमारे पास ये जो यूनिवर्सल इथॉस है, ये हमारे पास शुरू से है। शुरू से इंडिया में लोगों में वर्ल्ड के प्रॉब्लम्स के प्रति ये सारी जो कमिटमेंट है वो जरूर है, और इसी के कारण वासुदेव कुटुंबकम का कंसेप्ट आया है। इट क्लियरली एनकम्पासेस एवरीथिंग, आवर ऑल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टुवर्ड्स द वर्ल्ड, और वही से कंसेप्ट आया है जो अभी पॉपुलर हुआ है, दैट इज अ विश्व गुरु कंसेप्ट। व्हाट इज विश्व गुरु कंसेप्ट? विश्व गुरु कंसेप्ट इज दैट टू क्रिएट और टू मेक अ प्राउड रिस्पॉन्सिबल इंडियन who will not only be committed towards India's progress, but we will be very well comprehend the world problems and will be committed to resolve the world problems also. और इसीलिए हम कहते हैं कि इंडिया इज गोइंग टू बी विश्व गुरु। ये इसलिए कहते हैं कि हमारे सिटीजन्स में वो कैपेबिलिटी है We have empowered them. They have the capability to resolve the world's problem. और ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बातें हैं. इसी के चलते हमारे पास आत्मनिर्भर आया है कि फर्स्ट वी विल बी सेल्फ रिलायंट एंड देन इंडिया विल प्रोड्यूस एंड देन सप्लाई टू द वर्ल्ड. दैट इज व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू प्रोजेक्ट इंडिया. ये जो कंसेप्ट है ये हमें हमारे बच्चों को सिखानी है अंडर दिस ब्रॉड अम्ब्रेला ऑफ ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप एजुकेशन. देन वी विल कम डाउन टू द सिटीजनशिप एजुकेशन. ये सिटीजनशिप एजुकेशन है कि हमें एक्टिव, पॉजिटिव एंड प्रैक्टिकल सिटीजन्स को तैयार करना है. वी विल मेक देम टू टेक द प्रैक्टिकल एक्शंस, मेक देम टू रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन, सो दैट वो यूनिवर्सल जो गोल है और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है वो गुड गवर्नेंस के लिए कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे. ये गवर्नेंस नॉट ओनली एट द इंडियन लेवल बट गवर्नेंस एट द ग्लोबल लेवल ऑल्सो. और उसके चलते बिकॉज नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द ग्लोबल सोसाइटी और ग्लोबल सोसाइटी का कंसेप्ट इंपॉर्टेंट बन गया है एंड दैट्स द रीजन हमें उस दिशा में जाने की जरूरत है. एंड नाउ वी नीड टू लुक बियॉन्ड द बॉर्डर्स ऑफ इंडिया. ओके, एंड सिंस India right from the historical time is contributing for the prosperity of the world, we need to rejuvenate that practice through our curricula and make and in order to fit it in the modern framework of curricula and inculcate these values among our students. And that's a very important concept that I want to underline over here. तो अब हम इसके अंडर जो concept, I will come down to the concluding part of my today's presentation, that what are we expecting under this global citizenship education. So there are 7 important parameters जो हमको हमारे बच्चों में inculcate करने हैं. उसमें से पहला पैरामीटर है कि हमें उनको पहले ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है ये बताना है. We need to make them aware about the global problems and then we need to create a problem solving skill among the students. कि इस ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम को हम क्या ऑफर कर सकते हैं, क्या सोल्यूशन ऑफर कर सकते हैं. ओके, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज नाउ इंडिया इज अंडर द प्रेशर टू रिड्यूस द कार्बन फुटप्रिंट इन इंडिया. वो कहते हैं कि इंडिया के कारण पोल्यूशन बढ़ रहा है. ओके, अभी हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर COP26 ये मीटिंग को जाके आए और वहां पर इंडिया प्रोवाइडेड द कमिटमेंट दैट बाय 2070 इंडिया विल कट डाउन टू द कार्बन इमिशन टू द लेवल ऑफ 0 that we call as a net 0 percentage. वो हमारी कमिटमेंट है. तो हमें स्टूडेंट को ये सोचना जरूरी है how this environment pollution or emission of carbon can get reduced. तो आप में स्टूडेंट्स में ये स्किल को डेवलप करना है, उनको प्रोवाइड करना है ये स्किल्स को, how they can resolve this important problem. Then उनमें आपको critical thinking बढ़ानी है and that's a very important that we need to look at the problem very scientifically. और वो तो हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट that we will try our level best to inculcate or mobilize scientific temper among the Indians. So that is best on this line. Then creativity, उनमें किस तरह से हम creativity ला सकते हैं. Then communication skill, that's a very important aspect I'm telling you. आप कितने पढ़े हो, आपके पास कितना नॉलेज है, ये सारी चीजें एक तरफ. आप उसको जब चाहिए तब लोगों के बीच में ला सकते हो. That we call as a verbal articulation and written articulation. और ये कम्युनिकेशन है. आपको पता है कि अभी रशिया के बारे में सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम आने लगा है. वी आर गेटिंग द वेस्टर्न व्यू. वेस्टर्न व्यू क्या बताता है कि रशिया ने इतने यूक्रेन के लोगों को मारा है, इतना ह्यूमन राइट अब्यूज किया है, लेकिन हमें रशिया की साइड कभी सामने नहीं आती है. व्हाई? बिकॉज द रशियंस इज हैविंग द प्रॉब्लम विद इंग्लिश. ओके, दे आर वेरी गुड इन रशियन लैंग्वेज. वहां पर सब रशियन में चलता है. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू रशिया देन यू विल हैव टू लर्न द रशियन लैंग्वेज. वहां पर अंग्रेजी बिल्कुल नहीं चलती है. तो उनका प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है, हाउ विल दे कम्युनिकेट टू द ग्लोब, हाउ विल दे कम्युनिकेट टू द वर्ल्ड, व्हाट इज देयर साइड. लेकिन वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड जो अंग्रेजी में चलता है उनके पास दे हैव द कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, दे हैव द चैनल्स. सो वी आर गेटिंग द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ वेस्टर्न. ओके, दैट यूक्रेन इज गेटिंग अफेक्टेड बट वी आर नॉट गेटिंग द रशियन पर्सपेक्टिव. सो कम्युनिकेशन स्किल बहुत मैटर करता है. That is the biggest problem in China. Now, lot of foreign investment is coming to India. Okay, the reason is that the Indians are very efficient, very eloquent in their articulation. Indians की बड़ी डिमांड है गल्फ कंट्रीज में. अगर आप अंग्रेजी में ग्रेजुएशन करते हो, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन करते हो, तो you will easily find the job in Middle East, also in Southeast Asia, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Laos, ये सारे कंट्रीज में बहुत ज्यादा इंडियंस की डिमांड है. Okay, to inculcate this soft टीचिंग, इंग्लिश के लिए इंडियंस की बड़ी डिमांड है। तो डेवलप द कम्युनिकेशन स्किल among our student is again an important priority that comes under global citizenship education. Then coordination, collaboration and cooperation, ये values बड़ी important values है, ये हमें हमारे students में inculcate करनी है, और that's very important because they will, with this value they will go abroad or they will offer help to the international organizations. Then value inculcation ये बहुत important है. Okay, we need to make our students sensitive towards the global values of democracy, justice, equality, freedom. ये values है, universal values है, उसके प्रति संवेदनशीलता हमारे बच्चों में लाना, ये भी expected है global citizenship education में. And finally, the environment awareness. That's a very important one. So that you can start a course also on environment awareness and make your citizens or make your students aware of that important aspect. So, in a nutshell, in last almost 45 minutes, we try to understand a very broad umbrella concept of global citizenship education, which is ultimately oriented to create a responsible citizen towards the global problems. Okay, and we will try to create or make a citizen who will try to understand global problems and will also offer solution responsibly. So एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल सिटीजन को तैयार करने के लिए ये ब्रॉड कंसेप्ट आया है ग्लोबल सिटीजनशिप एजुकेशन, और जिसमें उन्हें हमारे वैल्यूज, जो एंशिएंट वैल्यूज है, वो उनको बताना है. देखिएगा, हम जो भी कुछ अच्छा होता है वो वेस्ट में होता है, वी स्टिल अंडर दिस स्लेविश मेंटालिटी. मैं अक्सर बताता हूँ, आई मीन सम लास्ट वीक आई वाज डिलीवरिंग वन लेक्चर ऑन दिस अग्निवीर कंसेप्ट, और मैं उस टाइम में बता रहा था, तो बेसिक प्रॉब्लम जो लोगों को है या अग्निवीर के बारे में, वो ये प्रॉब्लम है कि एक मानसिक मेंटल ब्लॉकेज कि हमें परमानेंट जॉब चाहिए, परमानेंट जॉब होने के बाद में मुझे पेंशन चाहिए, मैं पेंशन देने के बाद में मेरे वाइफ को पेंशन मिलना चाहिए. तो ये ब्रिटिश ट्रेडिशन है, ये ब्रिटिशों ने तैयार किया हुई मानसिकता है. अब देखिएगा ये इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट, मैं जब मैं आई वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ जेएनयू, उस टाइम में मैंने एक मेरे आई वेंट अलोंग विथ माय रिसर्च गाइड टू अटेंड वन इंटरपोल मीटिंग. वो इंटरपोल मीटिंग को कई सारे देशों के पुलिस प्रमुख आए थे. इंडिया से जो आए थे वो अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे रहे थे कि आई एम आईजी, डीआईजी, कमिश्नर, एसपी. ओके, और एक बंदा इंग्लैंड से आया था, लंदन से, उन्होंने कहा कांस्टेबल फ्रॉम लंदन. आई वाज, अरे कांस्टेबल ऑफिसर्स में तो लंदन के पुलिस चीफ का डेजिग्नेशन कांस्टेबल है. ये ब्रिटिशों ने ये डेजिग्नेशंस इंडिया के लिए क्रिएट किए थे बिकॉज इतने बड़े कॉन्टिनेंटल कंट्री पर उनको राज करना था, सो दे वांट टू अट्रैक्ट द गुड टैलेंट. अनफॉर्चुनेटली आज भी हम ये ट्रेडिशन को आगे लेके जा रहे हैं. आज महाराष्ट्र में, अब नाउ वी आर पैन इंडिया में ऑडियंस इन दिस ग्रुप, महाराष्ट्र में एक पोजीशन है, उसको कहा जाता है तालुका दंडाधिकारी, मींस वो तहसीलदार है. ओके, इन द यूपीएससी कैटेगरी आप उसको बीडीओ, ब्लॉक डेवलपमेंट ऑफिसर कहो. देखिएगा ये बड़ा ही इंपॉर्टेंट डेजिग्नेशन, तालुका दंडाधिकारी. अरे भाई, हैव यू एवर सीन अ तहसीलदार कैरिंग डंडा इन हिज हैंड? ये डेजिग्नेशन किसने क्रिएट किया है? Who has created this designation? अरे British has created this designation to intimidate the poor Indians. Unfortunately, ये ट्रेडिशन हम आज भी लेके जा रहे हैं. अरे भाई, ये क्या बात है? हमारा कलेक्टर कौन सा टैक्स कलेक्ट करता है? आप ये डेजिग्नेशन आज भी कैरी कर रहे हो. ये हमें ये मेंटल ब्लॉकेज को दूर करना है. ये एक ही कंट्री है जहां पर प्रोफेसर्स आर नॉट रिवर्ड, प्रोफेसर आर नॉट रिस्पेक्टेड, टीचर्स आर नॉट रिस्पेक्टेड. अमेरिका में से लेकर वर्ल्ड के टॉप 46 कंट्रीज में प्रोफेसर्स कम्स इन द वीआईपी कैटेगरी. चाइना में तो टॉप क्वालिटी की चाय सिर्फ एकेडमिशियंस पी सकते हैं, इतनी रिस्पेक्ट है, इसलिए वो कंट्रीज आगे जा रहे हैं. हमारे देश में जब तक हम ये बात को नहीं मानते कि हमारा एंशिएंट कल्चर, हमारी हिस्ट्री हमारी प्राउड है, इसमें ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आज भी इंडिया के और ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स को रिजॉल्व कर सकती है, जब तक हम इस स्लेविश मेंटालिटी से नहीं बाहर आते हैं कि जो कुछ अच्छा है वो वेस्टर्न्स है. एरिस्टोटल, प्लेटो सारे वहीं पर हुए हैं. ये क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग का पार्ट है. मैं कभी कभी सोचता हूं कि एरिस्टोटल, प्लेटो, डार्विन ये इंडिया में क्यों नहीं पैदा हुए? अरे इंडिया में पैदा हुए थे, लेकिन उनको अपवर्ड मोबिलिटी का स्कोप नहीं था यहाँ पर. और हमारे पास एक चीज थे कि हम हमारे एजुकेशन पैटर्न में क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, साइंटिफिक टेम्पर, इसको पहले ज्यादा बढ़ावा नहीं दिया गया था, जो अब बढ़ावा मिलने लगा है. और इसके कारण अब हमें ये क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग जरूर उनमें इनकलकेट करनी है, सो दैट द स्टूडेंट्स विल गेट टू नो द वर्ल्ड और ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स। तो ये चीज बड़ी सिंपल है अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए, तो लेकिन हम एज अ टीचर एवरीडे प्रैक्टिस में ला सकते हैं, सो दैट टू मेक आवर स्टूडेंट्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल and committed not only to the progress and prosperity of India, but to the progress and prosperity of the world. At the same time, we need to bring the students out of the slavish mentality of stereotype. कोई भी वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में 5 साल के ऊपर जॉब नहीं है, अमेरिका में कहीं पर भी ऐसा जॉब नहीं है। 5 साल आप काम करो, फंड्स अट्रैक्ट करो, आफ्टर दैट यू विल बी इवैल्यूएटेड, वंस द इवैल्यूएशन इज डन, if you are able to attract the funds, you will get the continuation. Okay, इससे क्या होता है, इससे आप कंटिन्यूअसली काम करते रहते हो। ओके, देयर इज अ वेरी फेमस कोट बाय द फेमस अमेरिकन फिलोसोफर इमर्सन। इमर्सन कहता है, सिक्योरिटी ब्रीड्स कॉम्प्लेसेंसी, इनसिक्योरिटी ब्रीड्स सक्सेस। आप जितने इनसिक्योर हो उतना सक्सेस का रेशो ज्यादा है। आपको अगर परमानेंट जॉब मिल गई, मुझे पता है मुझे पेंशन मिलेगी, जॉब मिलेगी, इंक्रीमेंट्स मिलेगा, मेरे वाइफ को मिलेगा, हमारी पूरी तरह से जो क्रिएटिविटी है खलास हो जाती है। वो नहीं होना चाहिए। इसलिए मैं अक्सर बताते रहता हूं कि मेंटल ब्लॉकेज है, इस मेंटल ब्लॉकेज को निकाल दो। और ये मेंटल ब्लॉकेज निकालने का बहुत अच्छा जरिया हमको यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट्स और न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ने बनाया हुआ है, बताया हुआ है, जिसका बेसिक रिस्पॉन्सिबल क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग करने वाला और स्किल्स इनकलकेशन का है। सो आई थिंक दिस विल बी द my today's presentation. I hope that in a given time frame I was able to give justice to this very important concept. I hope that it has satisfied all the queries that stuck up to your mind as far as the global citizenship education is concerned. I'm extremely thankful to the UGC HRD Center of Amravati and at the same time the University Grants Commission to become generous, okay, and organize this type of orientation or webinars to disseminate the very nitty-gritties of new education policy among the teaching faculty and even researchers and students also. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If somebody wants to give inputs or have any query in connection or in concern with the topic which has been presented just now, you can please ask to our resource person.
Hello, madam. Hello.
Yes, sir, please.
This is Dr. Sachin Taide from Shirpur Jain.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Sachin, please,
Sir,
Professor, go ahead. Go ahead, Professor.
सर खूप छान
नमस्कार.
विवेचन केलं आपण, खूप छान विवेचन केलं. फक्त मला एक प्रश्न विचारायचा आहे.
Sir, yes, please.
की जुन्या पेन्शन योजनेच्या बाबतीत आपण जे वक्तव्य केलं की पेन्शन आपल्याला बिनधास्त बनवतं, पेन्शन आपल्याला आपल्या ज्या लायबिलिटीज आहेत हे कमी करतं वगैरे वगैरे. हॅलो.
मला सांगा, मी ऐकतोय. सर, मी ऐकतोय, प्लीज.
सर, आपण डिनाय करणार का जर आपल्याला पेन्शन भेटत आहे, जर आपण डिनाय करणार का, घेणार नाही का?
नाही असं एक मिनिट सर, मी त्याला बोलू का? सचिन सर, मी बोलू का?
हो, बिलकुल शुअर सर, शुअर.
ओके प्लीज. मी आपल्याकडे बाहेरचे पण काही पार्टिसिपंट्स आहे, सो दॅट आय विल टेक युअर परमिशन टू स्पीक इन हिंदी अँड इंग्लिश ऑल्सो, सो दॅट द अदर्स विल ऑल्सो गेट अंडरस्टँड. अच्छा, प्रोफेसर सचिन. Okay, Professor Sachin was asking.
I will also very comfortable with English also, sir.
Okay. Professor Sachin asked a very pertinent question, that since I was talking about the pension program, I'm not criticizing the pension program as such. I was talking to this thing in case of the services in military regarding the Agniveer. That's the reason why I quoted, because it's a mental block. Why I'm telling you, because there are pensionable jobs are very few in India, that we know. That job security is very important, because that also provides you a type of stability in the life. That is important.
Yes, exactly.
But
it is needed.
It is needed. But at the same time, we need to introduce some mechanisms which will evaluate the performance of the person who has been recruited in the category of permanent service. Okay,
definitely. That we have, sir. That we have, sir. That you have, sir. In almost all the departments, such type of the evaluative authorities are there. They continuously evaluate the performance of that particular candidate, and then the promotion is awarded to him. her.
करेक्ट. तो अभी ये जो होता है, अभी ये मैंने इसलिए मैंने आपको आई विल जस्ट गिव सम, अरे तो
Yes, sir. Yes.
थोड़ा सा माइक आप प्लीज म्यूट कीजिएगा. हाँ प्लीज.
Okay. Okay, sir.
See that, I mean, just one small example which I'm citing you, since we were discussing then, because I was quoting that as an example. It's not the lecture which has been devoted for this Agnivir scheme and everything, but just as an example, because I was talking about the very broad concept of mental block and how we need to come out of this slavish mentality which has been inculcated among us by the Britishers. Okay, ये हमें इससे बाहर आने के लिए मैं बात कर रहा था. तो ये ब्लॉकेज जो है, ये ब्लॉकेज हमको ये भी बात बताता है कि जो भी अच्छा होता है वो वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में होता है और हमारे पास अच्छी चीजें होती नहीं है. ये साइड करने के लिए आई केम डाउन टू दिस इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट कि ब्रिटिशों ने कितनी सारी चीजें हमारे यहाँ इंट्रोड्यूस की जो आज भी अनफॉर्चुनेटली we are still continuing. There are some negative trends also, and that's the reason I cited that important example. Yes, please. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Along with sir Britishers, even in our country, whatever the traditional or whatever the traditions were there, they have also inculcated some bad things in our culture. So very first we should remove these, and then we shall think over the Britishers.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Oh, yes, please. हाँ, बोला.
Yes, sir. Dr. Vishal Deshmukh from Acharpur, sir.
Okay.
Sir, it is regarding you are talking about the development of global citizens. Students should be like a global citizen. But being a tutor, being a teacher, did I have been taught or I have been learned to develop such a kind of students? UGC want to develop a student having global citizenship talent. But the teacher who is going to make this student as a global citizen, are they been taught or they are been trained in such a way?
नहीं, देखिएगा इसमें now thing is it's not like something very rocket science or what we can do. UGC has not recommended that these are the courses that you need to start. They have provided some broad that how we can make our students aware to the global problem. Now, for example, now almost everywhere in Maharashtra we have environment science or environment education at the graduation level, and I think that's a compulsory subject also. So in the same way, what you can do is that, I mean, you can give some foundational course to your students. Okay, in that foundation course, you can make them aware to the global problems, like the problems of human rights abuse is there, problem of nuclear proliferation is there, problem of terrorism is there, because India is also victim of terrorism. Then problem of poverty is there, problem of unemployment is there, problem of inequality is there, because these are the problems which also affects India and entire world. So that students need to get this problem. हम हमारे स्टूडेंट को हमारे इंडियन प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में जरूर बताते हैं, हमारे सोसाइटल प्रॉब्लम्स के बारे में बताते हैं, but at the same time can we tell the students our global problems also, so how we can get affected, how we can offer the solution. तो आप इससे क्या करो कि उसको जरूरी नहीं कि उसका कोई सिलेबस नहीं है ग्लोबल एजुकेशन सिटीजनशिप का. दिस इज अ ब्रॉड आइडियोलॉजिकल फ्रेमवर्क, कंसेप्चुअल फ्रेमवर्क, जिसके अंडर हमें कुछ कंपोनेंट्स हमारे सिलेबस में लाने हैं. तो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि एक फाउंडेशन सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स आप स्टार्ट कीजिएगा, और वो सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स में आप अगर ह्यूमन राइट्स के बारे में भी बताते हो, हाउ वी कैन मेक आवर स्टूडेंट सेंसिबल एंड सेंसिटिव टुवर्ड द ह्यूमन राइट्स ऑफ अदर्स, टुवर्ड द ह्यूमन राइट्स ऑफ अदर कंट्रीज ऑल्सो. आज म्यांमार में बहुत सारे इनजस्टिस हो रहे हैं, वहां मिलिट्री रूल है. सो कैन वी क्रिएट अ सेंसिटिविटी अमंग आवर स्टूडेंट्स टुवर्ड्स दैट प्रॉब्लम. ये मैं एक एग्जांपल बता रहा हूं. आप ऐसे प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो, सोशल प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हो, वेयर यू कैन मेक योर स्टूडेंट अवेयर ऑफ इट.
Sir, I have a
Yes,
question.
madam.
Can I ask? A very good afternoon
please.
to sir. Sir, your lecture was actually very enriching. I'm Dr. Navdeep from Jammu University from the Department of Law. Sir, I have a question regarding what I feel that I feel myself to be a very responsible citizen, and I do not blame the existing education system, that it has not made me that capable, that I can misunderstand, or I'm not in a position to understand what the world, what problems the world is confronting with, right? Now, I would like to know what is, just like I feel myself as the responsible citizen, and I could gather from your lecture also that you happen to be one of them, right? So what do you think, that what are the loopholes in the existing education system, because of which I appreciate the new policy, because of which there is a need to have this kind of policy? Because I have also, I have also got education from the existing system itself, right? And because of that system, I think I have more values compared to the present generation, right? I think, which I believe is, teachers to some extent, they are responsible, and to some extent parents are also responsible for not inculcating, not the education system, because my entire family is, they have settled abroad, and when we go abroad, it's not that we need to act like the best citizens there. We know that we have to behave in that way in order to stay, in order to not to be deported back to our country, right? So don't you think the concept of horizontal this citizenship that you gave,
Yes,
that is more important? Because what we are lacking here is, because of I don't say that we are not responsible for that thing. To some extent, we have also been, we have become very political, right? Our thoughts have become political in nature. We have we do not, rather I should say, we are overestimating our capabilities, and we are guiding the students in such a wrong way, that the present situation which India is confronting with, and we felt a need of having a new education policy. That's the result of that. So what is your opinion regarding it?
well, I mean, you have in fact asked a very pertinent type of question that that stuck to my mind also. What are the lacunae in the present education system, from where I also grown up in the same education system that you also grown up. Okay, and what now we are witnessing, that whatever we teaches at our classroom, okay, so I feel that it hardly has any connection with the requirement of society. Okay, what society requires, what normally a citizen is required, a student, in order to make a full-fledged citizen or personality, what we need to inculcate among the students, we normally miss in our education. So what is the requirement of market? What is the requirement of society? What is the requirement of political system? That we hardly teaches in our classroom teaching. And that's the disconnect between societal requirement, political requirement, economical requirement, and our classroom teaching is the basic problem with the Indian education system. And that's the reason why we are.
But don't you think that? Okay.
Let me complete. So what now normally we are doing, we see that, I mean, just, last week I was going through a survey report, and that survey report, it was, very explicitly and stunningly mentioned that every year we produce 80 lakhs in India, 80 lakh graduates and postgraduates. Every year we produces. But out of that, that only hardly 10% will be employable. Okay, almost 90%, they come down to the category of unemployability. Why? Because they lack the basic skill. So now I will come down to that important point. What is important is to inculcate the skill. And that's why I emphasized on that aspect. How can we inculcate creative thinking? How can we inculcate the skill? And that is very important. The problem with India is that India is a service economy. And in that, but now we are shifting towards the production economy. Now China, the world, entire world, in fact, they are emphasizing more and more on the production. Okay, but we are creating a student which will sit the permanent job in the service sector. उनको वो चाहिए, लेकिन we are not teaching or developing the students who will be entrepreneurs. They will start their own initiatives, their startups. ये हमारे पास में lacking है, और वो new education policy चाहती है कि वहां पर हम वो skill डालें, उनको entrepreneurship qualities उनमें inculcate करें, so that they can start their own.
Yes, that is actually, that's the best part of this policy. But what I was, thinking about is, you're talking about the global citizens, right? Global
Yes.
citizenship education, which I feel that For that, we need to play a very important role along with the parents, because the student is more aware as compared to the awareness which we had during our time. Internet has made them rather very, very, very strong thinkers. They can criticize in a positive way. That I have seen that their level of growth, because that human brain also develops, and
Yes.
it has since the primitive times it has grown, right? So the intelligence has grown, and the internet has made them rather more, it has made them smarter, right? So what we need here is the skill part is appreciable, but so far as this part is concerned, definitely it's a good thing that UGC has done. For that, I think how many of us actually are very sincere in imparting that kind of education. That's
Yes.
why you said that people don't respect the professors. They are not respected. Teachers are not respected. Who's responsible for it? We all are responsible.
Yeah.
We want a hefty amount in our hands. We want every such facility, but we don't want to work. That's a fact.
Yeah, true. Yes, Lumte madam, shall we
yes, sir. Yeah.
आपण
I think
concluding part करे.
concluding. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, sir, as usual, this session was fantastic, with very enriched with the information, statistical one, and based on present global, situation. And the introduction and starting of the session was really fantastic. I was expecting the same, and sir, along with all teacher participants, I had also got benefited with this, because normally what happen, the teachers have a tendency that they are not easily ready to come out of their frame. Means they are very discipline specific. If my subject is so and so, I'll be willingly reading and writing and doing things from that, in that particular frame only. But whenever I listen sessions or speeches of Professor Shailendra sir, usually at least after 2-3 days of the session, I used to think on that and I start reading and doing some references even, because this is not my core area. But today I, sir, have got interest in all this, and I hope that the same will be the case with all our teacher participants. So on behalf of the UGC HRDC and personally as a program coordinator, sir, big thanks, many thanks. First of all, for that you have accepted the invitation just by having this mobile conversation, because I know your work and you are very busy. Rather, he is not taking rest. For all participants, I would like to share this thing that usually every day he used to study, our resource person, Devankar sir, and very busy with n number of academic activities. But even though he is giving time to friends and his colleagues for their problems, as he said in his session itself, that we should be aware of other things, the problems of other persons. Madam, you tell me, criticization, just you told about this, no, criticize. We are ready to criticize, but for compassion, nobody is coming forward, isn't it? So
Absolutely.
Skill point of view, when it is a question of skill development, what I personally feel as a teacher is that we have to inculcate this particular value of compassion among the students, because as social media has been developed, we have become more techno savvy. But what is happening, everybody is going, means we are just running far away from each other, isn't it? So it should not happen with all of us, and that these values we have to inculcate in the among our students. That is what I got today, and with all the things. And sir, I'm very thankful to you on behalf of the UGC HRDC of our university, and personally as a coordinator, thank you so much. And I hope that you will cooperate with our HRDC in future also, like this only.
Please,
Here I would like
always.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank even all teacher participants for giving a very positive response to our HRDC for these webinars. Today we are ending our series of these 4 workshops over here. And now we are waiting for next any direction from the UGC. If again they will ask us or direct us to conduct more webinars, hope that we will meet again in the virtual platform or in the online mode. So thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. And all of you, sir, you will get your feedback link as usual. So fill it and please send it back so that within 8 days you may get your certificates. Okay.
Where will we get the feedback link on the group or no email?
Email, sir, on your email.
Thank you.
And if you have any problem regarding that, you can just ask in the group. You can just post the message in our group. Okay. The group has been created for the convenience for all of us.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Hope to meet you all again.
Thank you. Thank you again.